Another source I asked you to look at, Keith, and we'll be referring to throughout this study, is a book called the Jewish Annotated New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
This was a book that was published a number of years ago in Jerusalem, or it was at least launched in Jerusalem. I was there for the launch. And it's Jewish scholars who are commenting on the New Testament. And the question was raised, this was in Jerusalem.
I was there with you, Nehemia.
You were there with me?
And the guy came in and he said, I want to understand why they didn't include me in the...
Oh, you were there. I forgot about that.
Do
you know where that took place?
What do you mean you forgot? I mean,
I forgot that you were there. So do you know what that building was where that was launched? That was the Orthodox Union.
Yeah.
The Orthodox Union is an international organization. If you look on cream cheese, for example, in an American supermarket, it has a little U with an O around it. And that's the symbol of the Orthodox Union. That means there's a rabbi at the plant who made sure that that cream cheese was given the stamp of approval, that there's no pork milker in there or whatever, right? That's the OU, Orthodox Union. So the Orthodox Union had a session on the Jewish Annotated New Testament, and one of the speakers there was Avigdor Shinan, a professor at Hebrew University, and he got up and he said, you know what? We're not doing this for the Christians, we're doing this for us. Because as Jews, this is a primary source for understanding Second Temple Judaism, out of which Judaism today evolved. And he brought the example of the Haftarah. We did an entire series called Prophet Pearls, where we went through the Haftarah portions read every week in different synagogues. And this professor from Hebrew University gets up and he says, do you know the first reference we have in historical documents to the Haftarah is in the New Testament?
right.
And that's in Luke, when Yeshua gets up in the synagogue and he opens up and he reads from the book of Isaiah. That's the first reference we have to the Haftarah or the Haftorah.
That's right.
So he says, this isn't for the Christians. You know, Christians can benefit from this, but this is for Jews to understand this document. Jews need to understand it in and of itself as a source of Jewish history.
Amen.
And tell us then, Keith, who else got up and who wasn't a speaker?
I mean, listen, I want to get to this. I mean, listen.
Okay, we'll skip it. All right.
Here's what's most important.
There was a heckler who got up.
I remember him saying this, and this was the feeling of what he was saying. He's saying, this is our book too, meaning our book.
That's absolutely what he said.
A text. And so that's really powerful. Those are the two sources that we're looking at as far as...
Now, the third source
Yes.
is one that I mean, when we talked about doing this, 2015, we talked about doing this. And I think the Jewish Annotated New Testament, I actually have one signed by the author, or one of the authors, right? Because there's a bunch of authors. Let's see, what year did it come out? Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Edit this out. 2011, yeah, okay. So it was 2000. All right, so 2015, we discussed doing Hebrew Gospel Pearls. I remember thinking that's a source that we should look at, the Jewish Annotated New Testament.
What we will do.
We don't have to agree with it, but we should at least hear what they have to say.